checking out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California has won the big game.
5 seconds left in the game. You believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Van, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a new river thing. Virginia Tech fire, rapid pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big dog sports talk, lighten up the dark. He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint. Calling plays like a coach, every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold. Rick's play-by-play, worth its weight in gold. With a laugh and a growl, he'll pull you in. Big Dog's podcast, let the games begin. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big Dog Sports Talk, lighten up the dark. Sports talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big Dog Sports Talk, lighten up the dark. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big Dog Sports Talk, lighten up the dark.
Hey, greetings. Good morning. It is a Tuesday morning here on the East Coast. Hope you're well, wherever you might be of these United States of America. Welcome to BDST. BDST. Welcome to Big Day IST. What's up, cat flavored? How are you? Welcome. We like cats. I have one. Carter, how are you? Good morning. Kasali. Nice to see you. If Balboa shows up cat flavored, we'll see if I can get him on camera here. Subscribe while you're here, please. Stay and like. Well, I will. When I can find him, he will. He'll come in a second. I don't think I have a picture of him up here, but yeah. He's orange and white, but his orange is red. He was a rescue kitty. Oh, there you go. See, you have an orange. See there, cat flavored. See how it works? Coming up today, Marvin Miami will join us. How about our Marlins? They're really good this year. Brian Siegel from the Boundary Corner podcast and Mike Burnip a little bit later on as well here on this Tuesday. All new folks, you're welcome. Please subscribe. Add to the chat. We love having you. Thanks again. I got a lot of great comments throughout the day. People who were at the Bash on Saturday at the Super Bowl. Great comments still coming in. Thank you for showing up. Thank you, Cat Flavored. Cat community is a good one. Mine's Balboa Creed. That's his name. Because I'm a big Rocky fan. See right here? Yeah. He's a rescue kitty that was found on the side of the road. After I was jogging back about 6 years ago and rounded a corner, and I saw someone had thrown I hate to even recall the story, had thrown a bag of kittens, and the rest of his brothers and sisters had already perished, and he was still in the bag. The bag was moving. I came around the corner, and there he came out. There was his little head shivering. So I stuck him in my pocket. I no longer have a dog. I lost my dog many years, several years ago, and I haven't replaced him. That's a tough thing for me. I know some people can do that, and that's awesome. But for me, I have a little difficult time with that. Maybe I will at some point. Yeah, maybe I will at some point. But I do appreciate everybody. The Bash was awesome. What's up, Rox? How are you? Good morning, Rock. Please, everyone, subscribe. Everyone's welcome. We did have a great time. Terry and Amanda were great. Absolutely great. Thanks to everybody who saw. Please, like I said, just hang around. Hope you stay subscribed. We're a sports show, entertainment show, but as long as people are cordial, we don't mind talking about other stuff. Yeah. So no, I do not currently have a dog. Like dogs a lot, clearly, because I had one. But right now I'm good with my kitty. It's kind of a nice. Thanks to Family Fencing, by the way, sponsor of our studios, 540-200-8294, familyfencingnrv.com. Mark Hundley, McClellan Chiropractic, the best chiropractor in the biz. Go see Mark. We're going to get over there and have someone film me going through all the machinery and so forth. Yep. But check it out. We did the video a couple weeks ago, and it's gotten a lot of views. We've been talking about the Bash. Well, the NRV Super Bowl were great hosts. Thanks again to Perry and Amanda and all the folks. 540-382-5525. It is a pleasure to be over there. What a great atmosphere that they have wedged out of the Super Bowl. Sundown Electric, excellent reputation down in Elliston. Long list of satisfied clients, 5-star reviews all the way around. Craftsmanship superior, and they keep the prices down. Reach out to Sundown Electric. Reach out to Bob Chris, bobchris11@gmail, readysetfund.com. Find out how a series of text messages can help you raise money for your event, your team, whatever it might be, like the Floyd County girls softball team, $4,300 in the span of just very, very little time. All right. Thanks, Cat Flavor. Thanks for stopping by. Well, he's not here. I'm not going to, he'll show up at the door. So I can't tell you when that'll be. He's all over the place, but thanks. Please stay subscribed and you'll see him sooner than later. Professional Door Incorporated, 40 years in business here in July up in Dublin. Travis Williams, what a great thing they're doing to honor current customers and future customers, right? If you just want garage door maintenance, preventative maintenance, reach out at 674-0008, and Travis and crew will get you on their schedule. You get $40 off your bill immediately. All you have to do is say, hey, we were listening to BDST, and we heard about the $40, and you get that off your visit. And that's a lot. That takes care of a lot. So reach out to Travis, 674-0008. Don't let your garage door go bad. National Bank, member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of yours truly in this program. 35 years I've been with them. I wouldn't bank anywhere else. They are the absolute best. We have our BDST fan question of the week brought to you by the attorney Ryan Price, 701 West Main Street in Radford, Trust and Estate Planning. And the question is, Wayne came up with it, Wayne from Ohio, because he's good at that. I think Wayne is now our official question getter. Which of the 4 teams that haven't been to the Super Bowl in the current NFL will break through first? Well, not necessarily this year, but first. The Browns, the Lions, the Texans, or the Jaguars? Good question. Hit me up on the Professional Door text line 391-0788. Or you can DM me, whatever. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg. That's Charles Lee and Company. Look for the blue and black vehicles, 540-553-2971. We are brought to you each and every day by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Thanks to Jonathan Sweet and Tim Miller. They're the absolute best. And the Sportsplex video is continuing to get views. Check it out. Jonathan took me through there, and it was amazing just watching him know every little detail about every nook and cranny of the place. The dude is just amazing. I don't know how he does all that. Lawson's Mobile Home Supply. Give James a call, 540-381-8011. That's 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg. He's had his business since 97. You get to see all these great people. Hey, Melanie, how are you? And you have cats. Great. Hey, we're cat people this morning. Great. Later, cat flavored. What is a silver star? I appreciate that. Is that something that I got from you, Melanie? Very nice. I don't know. I'm not sure about all that stuff yet, so try to figure it out. Thank you. Thank you. For Big Al, shiny and styling Virginia Tech cowboy boots. What's up, Jacob and Angelica? Jacob Angelica? We all at the BDST Bash looked on in amazement. I didn't know whether to steal the damn things or stand up and salute. BDST is alive and well. Please subscribe, everybody who's new. Hang out. There's, just subscribe and come hang out with us at times. You don't have to come every time, but those boots from Big Al were amazing. And Big Al lives up to his name. I always forget. I've seen him a few times, and I don't know. It may be the first time I've seen Big Al standing up, because usually I think I've talked to him in his truck. I talked about it yesterday. The height ratio of a lot of the folks who showed up at the Bash. Tebow's really tall. Rod Shelburne showed up. Wayne from Ohio is like, I believe, 7'3". Something like that. I don't know how he does it. Notice none of the tall guys were bowling because, I get it. Well, no, Jeff was bowling. Jeff was out there. Or Tebow. Tebow was bowling. But Morris, that was all you, by the way. The people that I heard from yesterday who were thanking me throughout the day on the text line mentioned you a lot. So you are the star of the Bash because you made it all come together. You and your lovely wife. Janet really liked your wife, by the way. But it was fun. The Bash was fun. A rousing success. I've had many people say they wish a couple of people said they had forgotten about it. And then some people were saying that they just got too busy. They wanted to be there. But darn it. That's okay. We'll do it again. We will do it again. There's no question we will. At some point. If we're still around in a year, maybe we'll do the 2-year. Morris, let's plan on that. Let's plan on the 2-year Bash. Maybe we can plan it out a little bit sooner and try to figure out people's times. And I know a lot of the creators and a lot of the folks, the guests who come on the program wanted to be there, but it just didn't work out. So there you go. There you go. So ESPN fired Ryan Clark. Apparently there's going to be a whole list of cuts again today. And he was told actually during a show. the guy was ridiculous. He was, let's just say it the way it is. I mean, he was a racist. He was very vocal about his feelings toward my race and other races, and he made stupid claims like Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Peyton Manning are not generational quarterbacks. And the fact that ESPN kept him on the air for as long as they did says a whole lot about them. So that got a lot of rave reviews yesterday. No. Well, I show up here every day, but you got to have good people around you, Morris. And you, my friend, are very good people. All our supporters here on the stream. What's up, Neil? How are you? Neil Conroy. Thanks for stopping by. Please subscribe, man. Stay subscribed. Welcome. The show wouldn't exist without our wonderful sponsorship partners and without our wonderful folks here in chat and people who hit me up on the text line and have made the show 16 years. Somehow this show has survived. And that's not me. That's not that's everybody who comes on the show, our great guests. I mean, we started in 2001, had to end it after 10 years, started a full-time gig, came back during the height of COVID. And now it has evolved here to this latest technology and the number one video viewing channel in the world. It's kind of an honor to kind of be just a part of it. A small, minuscule, non-essential part of YouTube, but I'm glad to be here. Yeah, Whitlock has been, yeah, he has, Brian. He really has. Oh, yeah, happy birthday to your son, Neil. What's up, Adira? Is it Adira? Ron Burgundy? So I am going to give myself a little bit of a victory lap here. Tap myself on the shoulder. This whole thing has blown up big time. Absolutely, Neil. Happy birthday. Please, all your family, subscribe to the channel. We welcome all opinions, but we do not allow any racist or derogatory comments about someone, how they look, things of that nature. But yeah, all opinions are fine. You don't have to agree. Many people don't agree with our opinions, and that's what makes the whole world go round. You just don't take things personally. As people are contributing, that's what matters. So this whole best byproduct of the World Cup being played here in the States, and I've said this a lot, was the grass fields. The grass fields being transported in, being applied at all these NFL stadiums that have the horrible plastic. And it is now something that we have been on, and I'm very proud to say it. We have been on it here on the program for years. This isn't just something that, and I've been saying it a lot since last football season, right after we debuted, right? Yeah, it's very nice of you, Stacy. Stacy's saying happy birthday to your son, Neil. How about that? See, I told you we were a friendly group. Thanks, Stacy. Please subscribe. That grass, they had some studies for a while, and they're pretty sure we see a lot of freak injuries on turf. It may wash out in the long term. Like I know a lot of people are saying, well, there's no significant advantage of playing on grass. I believe that there is. And it's what the players now want, and they are making a big deal out of it to the point to where I think we're going to see this come to a head pretty soon. And I'm tired of seeing, people are still trying to rationalize the fact that the cost thing is going to really prohibit the NFL owners and Goodell from implementing the grass. Well, the players are the ones that matter. The players are the ones that's making these billionaires even more millions and billions. And so I think you should listen to them. And what the owners can do, because they want 18 games in the league, all the owners have to do is say, okay, you know what? We're going to do that. If we have a plastic field, we're going to go to grass next year. We need 18 games. And once the players realize the financial benefits of that, I think They work out the details. That would be a nice, as Todd Grantham said, a nice carrot that you would dangle in front. And I think that's a nice trade-off. We as fans want to see the game on grass. We grew up with it on grass. You know, when I was growing up, how many stadiums did they have even on the plastic? Dallas has always been on turf. Pittsburgh, Philadelphia were on turf. I think Giants games were on turf. The Jets played at Shea Stadium. They always had grass in the baseball fields. There weren't a lot of turf fields. They were few and far between. And now it's predominantly this horrible turf with the rubber. It just makes no sense. And in football circles at that level, it makes no sense. Now, again, I'm going to sound like a hypocrite here, and I'm just trying to be fair about it. I understand why high schools have utilized them across the country, especially here. It does help with school budgets. It does help with costs from that standpoint. All right. I understand it from university standpoint. If it does help with costs, but we're talking about the National Football League and we're talking about major college football. We need to have grass. What's up, Ducky Boy? That's a great name. Welcome. Please subscribe. Karen likes both Janets too. Yeah, the Janets were good people. Coach Elmo's Janet. Yeah. Good stuff. So I think this thing's going to happen. I'm starting to believe now that we're going to have thanks, Ducky. I think we're finally going to see a push for grass fields. We all want you watch a game now on these plastic surfaces, you're late in the fourth quarter, all the uniforms look pristine. You know, one of the things I remember specifically growing up, whether you were watching the Redskins play the Eagles at RFK Stadium, mid-September, early October, the grass stains, the dirt, guys pulling the stuff out of their helmet. Later, Ducky. Thanks for coming by. And all these things. You felt like you were watching football. When we played it, it was great going out and getting your uniform dirty in practice, during the game. You always looked at your uniform to see how much grass stain and all this stuff, right? It was always great. But nonetheless, I believe it's going to happen now. And we've been on it for a while, so I'm going to take a victory lap. Thank you. Thank you, FIFA. I mean, it's a big deal, so much so for the soccer players that, it's a demand by the owners. They weren't going to come over here and play in these stadiums unless they played on the same grass they play on in their leagues, whether it be the English Premier League, whatever league it might be. And you know what? Good for them. Good for them taking care of what their athletes desire. It's better for fans, but it's more importantly better for players. And if it gives them a little bit more peace of mind, then so be it. So be it. But I'm all for it. I think the owners will be all for it. In the long run, they'll act like they were for it. But don't tell me about the cost. The NFL can invest in this. They're investing in all this worldwide revenue. Don't act like you can't do this for the employees that allow you to become just disgustingly rich people. Yeah, old artificial fields, Thunder were like Lambeau in the winter, except made of plastic. I'm trying to think, how many artificial turf fields? I mean, let's go through it. The Eagles went back and forth. You know, at the vet, they had artificial turf all those years with Ron Jaworski and Harold Carmichael and Wilbert Montgomery. That was turf, unfortunately. The Giants had turf. I never remember the Giants. They used to play at Old Shea Stadium as well. Yankee Stadium. Giants played at Yankee Stadium in the 50s. And that was grass. And the Cowboys. As a matter of fact, 3 out of those, let's see. Yeah. 3 out of the 4 teams in the current NFC East all play played on turf, and still the Eagles play on grass now. Cowboys and Giants play on turf, that horrible MetLife turf that the Giants and Jets share. Then you go to the NFC North. Green Bay has always had grass. They always will be. Detroit's always been turf because of their indoor facility, but you can put grass inside. Sorry, you can. Vikings used to play Metropolitan Stadium. They shared with the Twins. Used to be grass. Now they have turf in their stadium, which is an outside stadium. It's stupid to have turf. And the Bears, Soldier Field, used to always have turf, and then it went to grass, thank goodness. Then you go to the NFC South. The Buccaneers have always had grass. Charlotte used to have grass. They went to turf a few years ago. Makes zero sense. Falcons used to play at Fulton County Stadium with the Braves. Now they have turf. The Saints have always had turf inside the Superdome. And then out west, the 49ers, they have grass. The Rams play in that stupid big stadium with the Chargers. They have turf. All right. Arizona, I believe, has grass still in their stadium, pretty sure, which is nice. And Seattle's always had turf. Always. They used to be inside the Kingdome. Then you go to the AFC and the Dolphins, the Orange Bowl, all those years, kind of went back and forth between turf and grass. They play on grass now, I believe. The Bills have always been on turf. Someone said that the Bills' new stadium was going to have grass. Is that true? That doesn't sound right. Patriots used to be on grass. Now they've perennially gone to horrible turf. And the Jets, of course, share MetLife. As the texter, as Rolf is saying correctly, the Steelers went from turf to grass at the artist formerly known as Heinz Field. What is it now? Accenture, right? I get that a lot, Broken Hope. I take that as a compliment because I have nothing but respect for our service folks, the policemen and the firefighters of this country. Matter of fact, in order, the veterans of this country, there's no group of folks I respect and pay homage to more than anyone who has served and still served or had served. And the men and women on the police force and the fire departments who go out there and risk their lives for us on a daily basis, you always will have my most sincere, immense gratitude and respect. So I take that as a compliment, although I'm not. The Bengals, turf, right? They used to have, it was Riverfront Stadium. The Browns have always had grass, thank goodness. Hopefully that won't change. And the Ravens, they've gone back and forth. Are they on grass now? Does anybody know? Are the Ravens on grass or turf now? Thunder says, I think Lane Stadium grass system in Trays was copied from a soccer stadium. That might be right. I mean, the tech facilities department, the groundskeepers, what they have done and over the years, they are the standard. The Virginia Tech Lane Stadium, Worsham Field is one of the standards of the country. They hold seminars. People come, and back when grass fields were still such a big thing. Then you go to the AFC South. Jacksonville's on grass. Colts are on horrible turf. They used to play was it Municipal Stadium with the Orioles. It was always grass with the wonderful half infield field at about, the 35-yard line, second base and shortstop. And now they have just a horrible surface. Houston, the Texans have a horrible plastic surface. Tennessee, I want to say, didn't they go to plastic? They used to have grass. Yeah, what a stupid decision. Beloved Broncos have grass. They always will. The Raiders have a brand new stadium in Vegas, right? Guess what? They still have grass because Mark Davis is a throwback. They have grass inside their stadium. I don't hear them complaining about not being able to grow it or talk about how expensive it is. The Chiefs are grass. They used to be plastic. And then the Chargers play in the horrible big stadium in Los Angeles with the Rams, so it's grass. It's turf. They used to have grass at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. And later Qualcomm when they were the San Diego Chargers, and they still should be the San Diego Chargers. We don't need two teams in Los Angeles. because the fans that show up are there pulling for the other team. In all most accounts, they're rooting for the other team, which is silly. But so anyway, this is the thing. I kind of get a little smile on my face when I see somebody. Adam Schefter's writing about it. I see all sorts of NFL writers, Yahoo, and you name it, writing about this whole grass thing. And it's something they're going to use in the collective bargaining, and it's something that the owners are going to throw back at them for 18 games. You've got to have a little give and take. Well, what they do in Denver Thunder is, and this is why, the Broncos have the richest owners. Mr. Walton is worth about, I think I saw $89 billion. Can you imagine? Can you imagine just $1 billion? You better believe I wouldn't be getting up at 4 a.m. to prep for the show. Well, maybe I would. If I had $1 billion, this would be the only thing I would do because I enjoy the community so much. But I sure as hell wasn't going. We're not going to do anything else. Imagine having $89 billion. But the Broncos, about halfway through their season, will tear up their grass and put a brand new field in. They do it on their own now. And you know why? Because the players said, hey, this thing's getting a little choppy. Opposing players say, yeah, this thing gets a little bit, it's not as secure in our cuts and our feet. So what do? They rip it up and they put a brand new field down to finish up the season, even though there might only be 3 or 4 games left. How about that? What a concept. And I've never heard one complaint. Now, granted, you're the richest owner in the league. I've never heard one complaint about the cost or when they decide to rip it up. If they play a game, they start getting it ready and they rip it up right after that game and get it ready for the new sod. What's up, Rylan? Welcome. Please subscribe. Good to have you. I'm doing great. Hope you are. It's Tuesday. Had a lot of rain overnight here in Southwest Virginia, which we needed greatly. Did my river walk yesterday at lunch at Radford, and you get depressed. At one point, it looked like the river was battling back with its water level, and then yesterday, it looked pretty low again. And I guess the times that I saw it for about a week when it was fuller is when they were releasing more water from the dam. But maybe this helped last night just a little bit. What's up, Todd, on our Professional Door text line? What is my biggest beef with soccer? There are several. There are several. One being the flopping. The clock is stupid. Don't try to tell me their clock is them playing chess and we're playing checkers. The pretentiousness of soccer fan who tries to degrade anybody who doesn't just immediately latch on with the same passion. I'm watching the final that's supposed to determine the best international team in the world. And it's nothing halfway through the extra session. And one of the teams didn't even have a damn shot. They'd been outshot 25-0. Yet there wasn't any score. And you can't use your hands. We're Americans. We don't understand that. It's okay that we don't. We don't need to be made to feel any kind of guilt or stupidity because we don't. We are a nation that watches all sports where all body features are utilized. That's what we rave about. It doesn't fit the cultural aspects of our nation as sports fans. That's all. If the rest of the world has latched onto it like they have and it's a big deal, that's awesome. Do I respect the men and women who play it? Absolutely. Could I get out there and run like that for that long? Hell no. Do I see some amazing things when I watch Radford play? I do. We have some very talented kids. Matter of fact, you can make the argument that the greatest athlete that ever came down through Radford University is a men's soccer player, Dante Washington. Go look him up. Go look him up. But you know what? Not everything's for everybody. I know, right? Isn't that just amazing? You know what? People can like and not like different things.
Oh, my. Oh, no. Oh, no. That was out of nowhere.
It's crazy talk. I know. Radford's own Casey Underwood. That's right. Senior associate for Silly. I got to get Casey on here. I know Casey well. I know his brother really well. Kelly Underwood. I got to get Casey on here. We should get him on here, Tebow, and talk about the grass, man. It's unbelievable. Jeez Louise. Morris says $1 billion. That's not much money these days, Rick. Don't think you should go for a little more. All right, $10 billion. What was your question, Ryland? Did I miss it? Let me scroll back here. What is my opinion of the M4A1 Sherman, especially? I have no opinion on it because I haven't researched it. What is your opinion on it? That's the big thing. You tell me your opinion on it because you have every right to do that here. What's up? Oh, I'm going to mispronounce it. Is it Zoing Kuhn? Zoing X-Men? I don't want to mispronounce it. I used to look forward to college football, and it's difficult to get excited about now. I understand completely. Absolutely. A lot of people are feeling that. What's up, Brandon? We have our question this week, but that's not a bad one either for next week. Our Ryan Pry fan question of the week. If you had to be a college football fan for a school other than your favorite college, who would it be? Oh, you pinned that one, Brandon. We'll use that next week. I've already committed to the NFL question this week. Which of the 4 franchises that haven't been to a Super Bowl will make it first? Detroit, Cleveland, Jacksonville, or Houston? Zion says, I disagree. Soccer doesn't have a salary cap. That's very American. Well, in baseball, everything else has a salary cap. Baseball does not. And that's why they're going to miss a season to get one. Thunder says, yeah, what kind of game is soccer? You make a good hit. Some dude comes up to you waving a red card. What's up, editing Brian? And welcome. Please subscribe. And I've heard soccer people say the one thing that they don't like, we talk about what we like about American sports all the time, especially the NFL, college football, right? The evolution of how the game's played, rules that are implemented. And I've seen soccer lifers say they don't like the way this thing showed up. It's like everybody's playing for the foul now. Everybody's looking for the whistle, the penalty kick. Everybody's looking for it's become too much of an effort throughout their sport now to over exaggerate the contact. A lot of times they'll slow down the camera. There's no contact whatsoever. And they say they don't like that the game has become too much of that. So you see, there's a nice parallel there between the two footballs and football, right? Because we're seeing evolution that lifelong fans necessarily don't like. And I think that's a very healthy thing to have people discuss that and recognize that. For us as Americans, it's our first look to see all these nations come here and play in our stadiums. And I thought we did a great job as a country hosting. But we recognize certain things, and it's a reminder of, look, nobody's questioning the athleticism and the skill. Nobody's questioning what a great player and legendary athlete Messi is, or Ronaldo, or any of those guys. But overall, it is not going to ever be a cultural phenomenon in this country. It's just not. Just like American football, hey, it's okay. American football is going to be appreciated by a faction of fans when they continue to take games away from American fans and import those in other countries. You're going to have full stadiums. And I don't know if those are actual tickets or they just give them away. You're going to see a lot of fans wearing jerseys of their favorite NFL player that's playing in that game. That's great. But it doesn't mean that that country is all of a sudden going to make American football its national pastime. It's something that is a curiosity. You might appreciate the brutality of it. You may watch rugby played in some of these nations, and they don't wear anything. They beat the holy hell out of each other. I like rugby. We have a rugby club down at Radford, and they are terrific. Sometimes I'll be down there just watching practice, man. It's awesome. But our game isn't for everybody. The NFL, I mean. And there's nothing more American than NFL football. There's no sport that is more just American creation than our football. Baseball, basketball, hockey, world sports, right? Soccer is a world sport. NFL football or college football, American football is our sport. It has not translated internationally. It is what it is because there's not been a commitment toward it to develop leagues or to try to somehow come up with a minor league that's not sponsored by the NFL. Of course, it would have to be. But you think about what makes up the leagues right now. The NHL, the National Hockey League, where most of the franchises are stationed here in this country. I mean, I don't know the percentage breakdown, but it is worldwide an international sport. We just mentioned soccer. Baseball is worldwide an international sport. Look at the Latin influence in baseball, the Asian influence. The greatest player in baseball comes from Japan. The National Basketball Association, we've talked about this, all right? Top 5 players in the league, you can make an argument, are all outside of this country right now, come from outside the state. And that's okay. That makes it intriguing. That's not the case in American football. You will seldom have an international megastar pop up in the NFL. We've had a few. Nigeria has produced some talented NFL players. Christian Okoye, the Nigerian Nightmare, that was his nickname. But it's okay. You don't have to take – I'm not offended by it. But, boy, when you start talking about soccer and then you start talking about all these things about it, why it's not necessarily something that I sit around and pine away to see, man, you start getting immediate people getting defensive and starting to act like you just don't understand. And, I get it. I get it. Brian Siegler joins us coming up from the Boundary Corner, and Mike Burnip joining us now on the program in her new digs. Oh, for the first time, we get to see the backdrop because we got her vehicle last week. What is that, Barbara?
It's so great. It's so great to be out of the car, even though that was fun. That was a new experience, right? So
you started a whole thing that day where all we did was talk about food the rest of the show. So that was great.
I love it. I love it.
That's all we did. That's all we did was talk about food.
Well,
how is it? How's the place?
It's moving along. Like things are coming along slowly. We're taking it easy, not trying to do stuff too fast, so we don't get burned out on it. But yeah, everything's going well so far.
Well, that's great. That's great. The internet I see is finally working. When did that get resolved? That only took what, like a month?
Maybe no, it wasn't like a month, but it was a couple of weeks. I think it was maybe the day after the show. So maybe it was Wednesday. Like a technician came out and he explained that the people who were here before took all the equipment with them, which is really unusual. I don't know if they were supposed to do that. And so he had to I don't know, something with wiring, and he had to go outside and come back in. I don't know what he was doing, but he said that's very unusual. He's like, usually people can do it themselves. He doesn't have to come out. So I don't know what happened.
Wayne's already upset. No Mickey D's or no tour for biscuits.
I'm so sorry, Wayne. If I could get you a biscuit. My husband actually put in an order too, and I explained that's not happening today. But yeah, my whole family enjoyed that I had to do that because, of course, I brought food back for everyone.
Oh, it's great. Did you get a McGriddle? What'd you get?
No, and I said I was going to get sausage, but I ended up getting a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. I changed the menu. I
Can't
was
lose.
like, I want some bacon. So
I'm with you on that. I love the Mickey D's bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. I get it.
yes,
I
okay.
completely get it.
Yeah.
So what is your overall verdict, Marta? How big of a soccer family are you? Did you get into the World Cup in any way, shape, or form? And if you did you enjoy it? I mean, what did you like or not?
I didn't really. I mean, it's just not my thing. And I don't have anything, it's like, oh, I hate it, but it's just not my thing.
Right.
So I think my husband and my son, maybe they watched a little bit of it, but not all of it. I mean, it's funny, my son, he played one season of soccer.
That's my guy.
Okay. And so, but what is funny is if he gets a chance to play a video game, he loves to play soccer in a video game. And I'm like, why are you doing this? You could be actually on the field playing soccer. He's like, no, this is
no.
Yeah,
I'm good. Yeah.
So yeah, so I watched very, very little of it I have to be honest with you. I just didn't watch much. Again, it's not my thing. I mean, I saw some highlights and I read about it, which some of the stuff I read I thought was kind of interesting about like rivalries and all of this stuff, but it's just like, and I mean, maybe I would have watched more because, for a while the United States was really rolling and everybody was surprised and the United States was doing well. And, then they lost and
I know. That's the way I was. I watched a little bit. I wanted our team to do well.
Oh yeah. And they did do surprisingly well, right? I mean,
I don't know. Did they?
Like our men in soccer have just been, not good and kind of a joke. And so it was nice to see them, show up and give American soccer fans hope. But yeah.
Well, we say that all the time. And then it's like we put the sport away for 3.5 years until the World Cup gets ready to start. And then, okay, let's start getting Team USA ready. And then there's no way.
Yeah. I've seen an article that was talking about why we can't kind of get over this hump. And honestly, I didn't even read it because I feel like it's the same old thing we always say. Why can't we do this?
I know why.
And it was talking about something about, our youth soccer isn't where, but it seems like a lot of young kids play soccer, at least here in South Florida. A lot of young kids will start. You'll have like, kids as young, they look like toddlers. I don't know, maybe 3, 4, 5. They are playing soccer and they're excited. And, like me with my kids when they were young, I'd come out and, I'm bringing snack and, oh, it's so much great. But I guess a lot of kids kind of fall by the wayside after a while. But I guess that's, most any sport, it starts dwindling. But I guess it's just not, it's hard to compete, right? In the United States, it's hard to compete with our top sports, right?
That's what it is right there. Our best athletes are playing football and basketball.
Yeah.
They're not playing soccer.
No.
That's it right there in a nutshell. The best athletes in the world are playing soccer at all levels and developing into these great players. That's not going to happen here.
Yeah.
Just not.
But it's always fun to me when we have these things to imagine, like some of our top athletes, like what would they look like if they were playing soccer?
Yeah, that's a great question. Who would be a great soccer player that's a star in another sport like that? That's a good question.
Wow, that's hard to think. I may have to. I don't know.
Running back in the NFL, receiver. No, maybe a tight end. No, tight end's a little too large to be running that much.
You're running constantly through the whole time. So you'd have to be a smaller player, I think. And even
Saquon Barkley, somebody like that, would that?
Maybe. I mean, what do you think if he would take a year and dedicate himself to this, to learning it, and to getting out there and to see what he could do, right? I think it would be interesting.
Lamar Jackson, maybe Lamar Jackson. Tyreek Hill, that's a good one.
Maybe. I think these football guys, though, have to get used to not being able to touch the ball with their hands. That would take some getting used to. But the agility, the stamina to do all that running, I mean, I don't know. But it was always interesting to me to think about what athletes would be like in another sport. Could they do that? Because some of the great athletes have talked about, their prowess in other sports and before they started focusing in on one. I'm thinking back to like basketball, like, Tim Duncan started out, he was a swimmer. That's what he was doing. That's where his focus was. and something happened to like community pool. I don't know if there was a storm or something, and he had to switch to a different sport. And so I don't know. I've always found those conversations really fascinating.
Yeah, they are. It is a good one. It is. People are saying, cornerbacks in the NFL would be good.
I'm sorry. Somebody, Ray Lewis playing soccer.
Yeah, that would be funny. Bo Jackson, great at any sport.
Oh, yeah.
Bo Jackson in his prime, absolutely. Oh, my goodness gracious.
He would excel. He would score so many goals. He would figure that thing out and get it done.
Akeem Olajuwon was a great goalie growing up in Nigeria.
And I could see that. I could see that.
Yep.
So maybe some of these basketball players, maybe they would excel at being goalies with their long wingspans and that type of thing.
Yeah. So, yeah. But the thing about it is it's fine. And yet everybody wants to criticize America for not just jumping all over this like, wow, it's the greatest thing in the world, because it's not. It is what it is. It's fine, but it's not this great, unique event, sport that you just go, I can't take my eyes off of it. Well, yeah, I can. I didn't watch 100 minutes of the game on Sunday, and then it's still nothing. Yeah. So
I just think it's just a cultural thing. You know, if you didn't grow up with it, you know, if you grew up in a different country, you know, if you grew up, say, in Spain, and you grew up watching this, and it was you would love it. It would be it'd be your passion. Becomes yours. It would be your Super Bowl, you know. But you just didn't. And I do think Americans kind of hop on the bandwagon a bit when it comes around. Like you see people talking about it. There are all these companies do these promotions with it, and people start talking about it a little bit. And it's interesting how some people immediately become experts in soccer. It's like they never talk about it before.
I know. That's true.
I'm just not going to do that. I'm not some kind of poser here. I know. I just, you know. But I was excited here in South Florida to see people who, you know, they come to this country from other places and they come with that passion inside them already for soccer. And so there's, you know, pockets of people from different countries here in South Florida, and they are so excited to see their team play, you know, from their home country. And it just gets them, you know, there's like different, like sports bars would have people from different areas, and they will gather, and this is their thing. And I just like to see their enthusiasm, you know, when I go out in the community and people are wearing jerseys and stuff. And it's just, I mean, I'm happy for them, but I'm just not, you know, it's just not my thing.
No, it's not, and it's fine. Like you said, people can like different things.
Yeah,
isn't that the way it's supposed to be?
Yeah, I don't think we should not knock people for what they like, but we also shouldn't knock people for what they don't like. So.
Correct, and that's the part. That's what I'm talking about. 100%. By the way, your Marlins, they've lost 7 in a row.
I don't know what's going on.
What's going on? You need to go to another game. I think you need to get some.
I do. We need to go to another game because we were on this trajectory and people were starting to talk about the Marlins, and then it kind of became, you know, same old Marlins. And so I don't know what's happening. It's like, I think the Marlins are now like maybe 11 and a half games back or something. It's not good.
Not good. It's not good.
It's not good. But, you know, hope springs eternal, Rick. You know, there could be this big rally, you know, we could be talking about them again, but still incredibly fun to go see one of their games, though, no matter what.
Correct.
Wayne is so great. I'm sorry. I look down occasionally to see what Wayne is talking about.
I was unbelievable on Saturday.
Bowling?
I think what you call is I was in the magical zone at the NRV Super Bowl on game number 2. If Brandon's still here, he wanted to bowl with me. He was talking a lot of smack going in because I hadn't picked up a bowling ball since my youngest son was in like 6th grade. And it was really an athletic phenomena moment in this country on Saturday at the Super Bowl.
Well, you know, I was surprised. Do you know that there are colleges that have bowling teams? Like that's their college bowling team. And I didn't know you could actually get a scholarship to go to college to bowl.
And the MEAC is famous for great bowling schools.
Yeah. So kids out there, you know, you think, oh, I can't play football, I can't play basketball.
I know.
Start bowling, and maybe you get a scholarship.
I watch those. A lot of the HBCUs, they have and they specialize in it, and then they'll show some of those. And I'm just like, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love, and they take it just as seriously as anybody does football, basketball, and it's really cool.
I think it's very cool. Like I love hearing about those opportunities that are kind of unconventional for people to do something. One day, I think I don't think there are any colleges that do this, but we were bored, kind of watching TV, and there was like it appeared to be some kind of professional or semi-pro kickball going on. And I was like, what? That's what I used to play in elementary school, right? At PE recess time. And I sat there and watched it for a while just because I didn't know it was a thing. So I was like, wow, it's cool that they're all these things. I mean, I just can't imagine it seems like it would have to be semi-pro, but I don't know. These were teams, and they had it looked very legit, and it also shows us what the summer is like, though, for sports, right? There's certain periods in the summer where there's not much going on. I mean, I think as it was on one of the ESPNs I saw, they were having these guys play kickball, which, I mean, great.
I used to love kickball. I used to love kickball. Yeah,
I can't imagine you'd be good at kickball.
Kickball was fun. Yeah.
I
did. Brandon's right. The odds that Rick would have come out and bowled 5 strikes in a row, which that did happen. I had almost 2 straight. What's 2 straight turkeys called, by the way? Anyway, and that pretty much, I set the stage for greatness at that point for the rest of the night.
I am in awe. I mean, I've never done that in my life. I doubt I ever will. I just, bowling, I don't get I know there's a strategy. Okay. And it's just, it always takes me a while to warm up whenever I play. And towards the end, I'm doing better. But at the beginning, just a bunch of gutter balls. I'm just not.
I understand.
I guess it's a mental thing, Rick.
It happens to me. It happened to me early on. In match number 1, I wasn't very good. And I had one that bounced. It was in the gutter. It bounced back onto the lane, but it was a gutter ball. It was.
Yeah. So I got to figure out how to get in that zone. There's a.
You know what the key is? You know what the secret is?
What's the secret?
The secret is you don't look down at, like if you have a full 10 pins, you don't look ahead when you're rolling. You have to look just right in front of you at the first little air line, make sure your ball hits, because I have to have a little lift on it, and you got to get that just a little twist to where the ball is going to kind of have that, because I can't put this dynamic, really cool, amazing breaks. It's just, I just watch these guys and I'm just marvel at them. So mine has to be pretty precise, and I figured that out midway through probably the second matchup. So yeah.
Well, that's cool. I mean, that second career for you, third career.
Whatever. I might start showing up on league night and saying, "Hey, does anybody want a ringer?" That's me. Need some help tonight? Anybody sick?
But I mean, I'm sure you've watched these guys, like the professionals at this, and they are amazing. Like they are it's just clockwork, it's just, I love the swagger they have, because you wouldn't expect that. It's like, yeah, I'm good at this. So yeah, that's not me. It's like, I only play usually, like in recent years, is if the kids go to a birthday party, and so they have them set up lane, and they try to say, here's a parents lane, you guys can play. And I don't really want to, but if like I'm kind of pushed into it, like, okay, I'll play, just because I know, especially at the beginning, it just takes me a while to get that rhythm down. I'm going to look really ridiculous out there.
No, it was fun. We had a lot of fun, but we need to work it out to where maybe if you're going to be close by, if Marva would have been at the bash, it would have been just awesome.
I know. I love it. So it's funny because this year I actually haven't, or this summer, I haven't been up north like that. I usually,
I know.
Yeah, I usually go up because I do have some in-laws who, and just some family members who live actually in Virginia, but I have relatives who live in the Richmond area, and I have some northern Virginia relatives on my husband's side of the family. And I usually get up there to see them in the summertime. I haven't yet. We're trying to make a quick trip up in August, but it's going to be quick. Like, it's not one of these leisurely things like, oh, it'd be great, going to be here a week. No, it may be a long weekend. So that means I can't really do any side trips. It's just like quick up, quick back down before the kids go to school. And it just seems like the summer's flown by. I can't believe they're going back to school on the 13th of August, Rick. The 13th.
Oh, so glad I don't have to deal with that anymore. Yeah, I know. It gets here pretty quickly.
All your kids are done.
All my kids are done. By the way, you came up Scott Stevens showed up. Remember Scott?
Oh, yes, I do.
And
Yeah,
he and I were talking about the good old days of the Travis to Walton transfer at the radio stations, and we talked about you a lot. Yeah,
he's a very, very nice guy. So
yeah, Scott's great. Scott's great. So he showed up. Wayne, I did not have a remote-controlled ball. He's saying I cheated. He's saying I had a remote control. A six-pack or a wild turkey is what it's called. Thanks, Brandon.
Oh, okay. Cool. I did not know that because that's never happened to me or anywhere close to it. So, yeah.
Well, if I'm going to excel at bowling, I need to make sure I know all the terminology because I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of those wild turkey six-packs in my future, apparently.
Yes, yes. I mean, it's just the career's beginning. I see Wayne's asking about a skating rink. Is he talking about roller skating? You know, I've never been ice skating. Okay, never done that. The actual roller skating, it's again with the kids. If I go, they have parties at roller skating rinks, and I have been out there, and it's like just for fun. So I would not say that I am great, but I can stay on my feet.
Did you ever consider roller derby? You know, because you're 6'3". I mean,
I would love to do roller derby. I think that would be fun. I actually have a friend who does that.
It would have been great at that.
It's great for I guess getting out aggression.
You would have been awesome at that.
I mean, I would hurt people out there, Rick. I would be.
Well, I was going to say you've got the long limbs. You could. I could see you. I could see you. I could see you being.
Be fun.
You would be a force out there.
Oh, yeah,
in the roller
definitely.
derby circle. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
UNC plays VT in Blacksburg. Oh, Marva,
when is that? I would love to come up for that.
You should.
If it's on a weekend, maybe we can work something out. But if it's during the week, I know I can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, that would be nice to see what goes down there.
By the way, you'd be proud of me. I have predicted that Caleb Wilson is going to be the steal of this draft. The Bulls just sat there and they probably were just like, "Oh my goodness, we didn't think he'd make it here. Let's get the card turned in now." I think he's going to be the superstar of this draft.
He's been doing it in summer league, and of course, we gotta have that caveat. I know it's summer league, but still, he has looked so good. He's been so impressive. And he's already talked about, those teams that passed by him, those 3 teams that didn't go for him. And he's also, talking a little smack about some of the guys. Some of the guys aren't playing in summer league or haven't been playing all the time because they are already doing rest management. I'm like, it's summer league. And these guys are so young. What are we talking about? So he was kind of, taking some digs at them, like not too bad, but just saying, I don't understand. I love basketball. I play all the time.
Well, he had back-to-back in the summer league. He had back-to-back 20-some points, double-digit rebounds, and it made it look. I'm like, okay, here we go.
Some incredible dunks also.
Here we go. He's healthy now.
He's healthy. He's ready to go.
Get ready to go. I'm telling you, that kid can play, man. I saw him down there. We opened up the season down there, and you're watching him play, and you're like, we're sitting beside. We have Carolina fans, and they're like, we paid him he got $3 million, and I'm like. Well, I get it. I looked over during one of the breaks. He's worth it, isn't he? And they were just like, yeah.
I'm excited to see what he does with the Bulls this season. I really am.
He's really
I'm going
to
see if I can watch Bulls games and, because he's just so exciting and he does have that exuberance for he loves this. You can tell he loves this.
He loves to play.
He'd probably do it for free because he loves it.
No, he wouldn't.
No, but I just mean even if he weren't being paid, if he weren't a professional, he'd be the guy at the Y shoot baskets.
He would be at the Y. Yeah, he would.
He loves it. So I'm so excited to see what he does. And
yeah. Time and dates haven't been released yet. That's right. That's too far down. Heck, they haven't even released time and dates for the ACC football games.
Okay.
Or at least times. They had dates, but not times.
Okay. Well, speaking of football, I've started to see these different reports about Carolina football, and it's interesting. At first, it was people were saying it's going to be good. I don't see a Carolina player on there.
Well, we're gonna look them up right now. You just tell us what you know about.
Well, no. I've seen early. I've seen reports that say it's different than last year. You can tell there's a different mindset, and there's certain things in place. Like they got rid of that spring portal, and so it's who you're going to have, and players are doing player only workout sessions, and they're going great. But then recently, after they had the media day, I've been seeing negative reports. Like people didn't like Belichick's answers to certain questions or his body language. And I just think things like that are kind of silly. It's just the guy is who he is. He's not going to be, rah, rah. It's not who he is. So I have to be hopeful, Rick, that I'm hopeful that it'll be better than next year.
You picked 12th. Phil still has you 12th out of the 17 teams.
12th in the country? That's
no. Sorry. Let me clarify. That's 12th in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Yeah. It says last year the Tar Heels made headlines with the hire Bill Belichick. I'm sorry. And had even more disappointing 4-8 season. Belichick did not have practically a brand new team last year. But once again, a very transfer-heavy team this year.
Okay. But I will say very confidently, Rick, that they will be better than 4-8.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, I just can't imagine it being worse.
Well, we're going to look at you want to look at the schedule right now?
I know the schedule's tough, Rick. I know.
Well, I don't know. I really don't know. I have not looked.
Read it. It's a tough schedule.
But see how pretty your colors are? Look at that.
They are.
Look at that.
They are. And I just don't understand this 12th. I don't.
Anyway. All right. You're gonna lose against TCU. That's in Dublin, Ireland. There's 0-1.
I mean, that's not a guaranteed loss.
No, in Dublin, Ireland, there's always X factors when you play overseas. I'll give you that. East Tennessee State.
That's a win.
That's a win. At Clemson. I'm not just going to say I don't know what's going on at Clemson with Dabo. I've said this about when Tech travels there a little later in the year. I think Tech could win that game. I don't know what's going on. Dude, all he did was lament about the olden days during media day.
He's like not moving on. I mean, he's got to move on. There's certain things we all miss, but at a certain point, you have to move on. You have to play under the rules you're given. And he's just, I don't know. He seems like he's just, you know how he is. He didn't want to do transfer portal. And he saw people getting beat by people who were getting players from transfer portal. And so I feel like Clemson fan is a little anxious right now, a little, wondering, is he the right coach for us at this point? So
they're coming a little jaded. I think they're becoming a little jaded. Notre Dame. Ooh. Notre Dame's supposed to be really good.
That'd be a big win. That'd be a big win, right, Rick?
It would be. And John, if they somehow won at Clemson and then beat Notre Dame back-to-back, then all of a sudden you got a little aura about you.
Yeah, everybody be talking about it.
But that's not likely going to happen. At Pitt.
Okay, it's a little rough to start the season.
Why does the ACC do this? Okay, I know NC State's your rival too. Right. They've got the Duke game on the 17th of October.
Yeah. That's weird.
I hate that. That was always the last game of the year.
I don't know what they're doing with scheduling. It was always fun because he always end the season either, at Duke or playing Duke at home. It was always that. And it would kind of go back and forth year to year. So I don't know what's going on.
You should win that. They don't have a quarterback. You should win that. Syracuse.
See, another win.
That should be a win. You're not going to beat Miami.
We have 3 wins now?
Yep.
Okay.
At you play Miami on Halloween. At Connecticut, which isn't a gimme. Connecticut.
Let's call it a win. That's 4 wins.
We'll call it a win. Louisville at home. They're supposed to be pretty talented. Yeah.
Maybe.
At Virginia.
We haven't had much success against Virginia.
No. And then the Wolfpack.
Yeah, and that's bad because that's always their Super Bowl. It's bad.
Was that three wins?
Well, I said 4, but I really think Carolina's going to win some surprise games. Rick, you
could. That's the. You could.
And I'm just saying it's going to be better than last year. It just can't.
It could.
It's going to be better.
It very well could. That's why I feel like, and for Tech, I picked them to go 7-5. Now I wish I would have gone 8-4. I keep looking at the Maryland game. I had them losing. I think they might win that game, but I'm going to stand by my original pick. Carolina could, but if they go 4-8, what's that going to be for Belichick?
Goodbye. Right? It has to be, right? So, yeah, but we're hopeful. I think they will do better. I mean, I'd love to see Carolina go to a bowl next year. Right?
Next year? Oh, if they went to a bowl, I mean, geez. I mean, they'd be going nuts.
Yeah. So
Wayne says, I hear Wayne says, I hear Coach Belichick's up for preseason coach of the year. Jordan's up for the gold digger of the year. So, hey, you looks like you got a couple awards there, preseason awards.
You know,
are they still together?
Yes,
I don't hear.
They are still together,
okay.
and people are still talking about them. And who knows? Maybe they're in it for the duration. Like, maybe they're going to be wedding bells ringing soon.
It's true love. Oh, that would be awesome. You think Tom Brady would be like?
He'd be there, right?
Best man. I would think so. He'd have to have Bill's back.
Yeah, and maybe there'll be some new little Belichicks running around because, I mean, Jordan's very young, so I'm sure she's maybe thinking about being a mom.
That's a sight. That's a thought that I just don't want to put in my head. To be honest
I'm
with you.
sorry, you brought Jordan up. I didn't even plan on
It's Wayne's fault. Wayne did it.
That is, Wayne did. Yeah.
Wow. But but since Belichick hasn't been a thing and hasn't won much at all since Brady left, Brady could be there the night of the honeymoon to kind of say, all right, let me step in, Bill.
Rick.
What? What?
No honeymoon talk, please. Okay.
Time to get another ring. Let's go.
No honeymoon talk.
Well, you started it.
I did not.
You did. You said about little Belichick.
Well, that's true. I did mention they have little Belichicks.
But anyway. Well, I'm very happy that Deflate Gate number 2 for Bill, Wade says.
Oh my gosh. Okay, on that note, I think I have to go. I have to go now. Okay, it's been nice.
That's good stuff. All right. Well, Ms. Marvin, y'all have a great week. I hope the final moving in goes great.
Yeah,
hope everybody gets
everything's
ready.
Going to be fine. Yeah.
You think you're going to like it better? You like it?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's so. Just great neighbors met already, and yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm going to chuckle at Deflategate for a while now. That was fun.
Oh my.
Well, have a great rest of your week, and as always, go Hills.
Yes. Go Hills.
All right. Be good. Tell everybody.
We'll go for that.
Tell everybody to say hello.
We'll do.
All right. Talk to you. All right. You too.
Bye-bye.
There you go. Marvin, Miami. Hey, she's back. She's got her internet. The car thing was cool, though, wasn't it? And the fact she did that was awesome. I don't think she understands the impact she had on that show. We were talking about food the rest of the show. Brian Siegel joins us next. Tom, it's Coach Belichick. Listen, Jordan wants to take a island trip for a getaway right before we start practice. I might need you there. Tom, it's Bill. After Tom doesn't respond to the first text. Wow. Professional Door Incorporated up in Dublin. They are offering an amazing deal, and you better take advantage of it. If you don't, you're just quite frankly silly. $40 off for your visit to come and get your garage of maintenance. You don't have to have it done in July, but you only have 10 more days left. Go get it scheduled. Call, tell them you heard us talking about it here on the show. 674-0008. 674 Jim Otto 08 0008. And get on the schedule. August, September, October, doesn't matter, but you have to do it in July. Let's go. I mean, you're getting $40 off. Why would you not? And then you'll never go anywhere else again. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of this program, and me for 35 years. Tom Brady's going into wrestling? Really? No. Thanks again to the Super Bowl, 540-382-5525. The Bash was a big hit on Saturday. Thanks to Terry and all those folks there. They were awesome. Family Fencing, sponsor of our studios here in Reiner, 540-200-8294. Mark Hunley, McClellan Chiropractic, 155 Walters Drive. Mark showed us the diagnostics and the science on the video, and then we're going to go over and I'm going to go through all that. So yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Joining us now on the program, it is Brian Siegel. There's that gentleman from the Boundary Corner. What's up, Brian? How are you?
What's going on, Rick? How we doing?
We were doing all right, and then we started talking about a potential Bill Belichick honeymoon night with Jordan, and then things got off the rails.
That's a mental image I did not need this morning.
Marva went there. It was all Marva in Miami. She went there. And
I can just imagine him with his phone like this and like her doing some sort of gymnastics around the room. That's all I got.
Keep going, Jordan. That's getting me there. Keep going. So how was your week? You guys are back tonight, aren't you?
We are not. So the rest of the crew is on vacation. I am the only one that's like properly in town. We got one on the cruise. We got one at the beach. Sheldon's still out west. So yeah, it's a desperate crew right now. It's just me holding down the Richmond area.
Well, that's okay. Well, when you return, you'll have a whole lot to talk about.
That's right.
Lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
The Phil Steele mag is out, which is the only one that I suggest people should ever invest into. Phil Steele has Virginia Tech as one of his top 10 most improved teams, he believes, coming up. And I think a lot of people seem to be trending in that direction. We talk about all the good things that we expect to see, the improvements, right? You and I have talked about it. You guys talk about it. Let me ask you this. Let's go the other side. What do you see as a potential, I don't want to say seasonal downfall, but what could be a roadblock for this team? Have you thought about things that could pop up that could be something that might prevent this team from reaching the improvement level that many of us think they're going to have in 2026?
I think there's probably a like maybe about 3 that I can think of off the top of my head here that could be a big hindrance. I think injury in general is never going to be good for a team that has way more depth than we've had probably in the last few years, but a lot of that depth is young and unproven. Talented, yes, but young and unproven. Now, the next step is going to be very position specific. So we've got a retooled offensive line. Maybe didn't quite make as many moves in the portal at that position as you would have liked, but certainly went out, got a couple tackles. You feel a little bit better depth-wise about that position heading into the fall. But because you went to the portal, you still got to get the chemistry right. It's still got to be not only the best 5, but they've got to move as a unit together. That's always important. And until you really see all that in action, I mean, we didn't really see the projected starting left tackle at all in the spring. So it's going to be hard to really see what that looks like until, we get into the fall camp and we start seeing a little bit more what that group looks like together. So that's a concern. If you can't block, everything else on the offense is a lot harder.
Yep, that's right. That's right.
And then on defense, I think the big thing is that we didn't really do a ton in the safety room. I'm really interested to see if safety is going to be a plus position after it's getting healthy, after a couple back-to-back seasons of not really having a fully healthy room, or if we're going to see some of the issues where some of those safety fits, some of those lack of experience, you get into troubles where you're letting teams break off long runs or you're giving up the big pass deep because someone's not in the right position. So those are the areas that concern me the most. And if, when we look, I was looking, I know you were looking at Phil Steele. I was looking at ESPN FPI, and right now we're favored in all but 3 games.
Yeah.
Which I don't think that's necessarily an accurate reflection, but it's going to be interesting to see kind of what the margin for error is between potentially 9 or 10 wins versus 6 or 7 wins. And is it just an injury at a key position? Is it, some depth or lack of moves in the transfer portal that didn't pan out? And now you've got a hole in your offense or defense that you just can't hide. I'm interested. I think this is going to be a very intriguing first year for James Franklin.
Fair or unfair? My concerns, I think, and I don't think I think you're right. The starters might be okay. The depth behind, especially on defense, I have a lot of questions about. But my biggest concern is, will this coaching staff come together? I mean, I don't think it's talked about enough. He didn't get a lot of his first choices for these coaches. I mean, he just didn't. He had to settle for some guys. The Brent Price situation is still bizarre to me. I hope it works out that he can rehab into being the old guy that he used to be. I don't know really what that was. His defenses never were really dynamic. It was still his defenses that were run here. You got another first-time offensive coordinator. You have a defensive line coach who Mike Elko dismissed at Texas A&M, and he got the job. So I want to know how this group comes together. Is that fair or unfair? I want to see how this staff comes together in year number one under Franklin.
I think it's fair. I think there are some question marks at some areas, but I think one of the things that is a little bit different comparing it to just Pry's staff is that pretty much everyone on this staff has proved themselves in some way, shape, or form, even if it's not in the current role that they have. Thinking about Ty Howell, I mean, I don't know if there's a much better tight end coach that you could, point at in the country. It sounds like Franklin had him on a short list for, wanting to make that move when he was still at Penn State. So I'm not as concerned about that. I think the thing I worry about with Pry isn't so much of whether he can get the job done. It's that how quickly are people going to turn on that situation
immediately?
Yeah. And I don't know if he's going to get, unless he goes out there and has a top 10, top 15 defense, I don't know if he's going to get a chance to grow back into that position. So he's going to have that defense flying around and doing some really good things very early for him to get a long enough leash to, I think, do the things that I think he can get done here in Blacksburg.
Yeah, I think that's fair and very accurate, because I know what it was like around when we did the Armageddon show after the Old Dominion blowout. And of course he was let go the next day. I mean, people that were showing up in chat in the comments, they just wanted this guy to be out. So they couldn't believe that he was still there. And so now here he comes back and he's the defensive coordinator and everybody's acting like this is all sunshines and roses. It's amazing short-term memory, but you're 100% right. As soon as you have, let's say Old Dominion scores 3 touchdowns and they're moving the ball. I mean, it's going to be so much scrutiny. And I got to be honest, probably rightfully so. I don't know how a fan base could trust a guy who did such a poor job as the head coach the previous 3.5 years, right? It's just crazy to me.
Yeah, I'm willing to give this the benefit of the doubt, because when I look at the Penn State defenses under Pry, while they weren't dynamic defenses, they were always very good, very solid. They were going to get after you from a pass rush standpoint. I think if he can bring that element and play at close to the level that we saw Penn State defenses play historically under Pry, then I think he's going to be fine for however long this tenure is. But if things are not good out the gate, I think Franklin could have a problem with the fan base turning on Pry before he really gets his feet under it.
Yeah,
so I think that's my bigger concern. So he's going to have to sell himself again to the Hokie fan base very early. I mean, if you go 4-0 and you're allowing, somewhere around 10 or fewer points in those first 4 games, then I think that, the fan base will come around on that. But if you're letting, 17 get on the board against ODU, maybe even 21 on the board against ODU, then I think you might have some boo birds pretty quick, even if you win by 2 or more touchdowns.
And then eventually you could put Franklin in a situation where he's having to answer those questions, and then he'll just completely walk out of the press room, and then it starts to create things with the program that you don't want, right? Because that'll be very interesting, very, very interesting.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Definitely
we'll see.
Fast start for the defense, I think, is as important for the staff as it is for just the fan base in general.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a very accurate observation. I do. I wish he would start. It's almost like he's, I don't know, you watch things and sometimes there's symbolism. The fact that every time you see him, he's wearing sunglasses. It's almost like he's almost like he feels like he needs to hide a little bit. Does that make sense? Like he's kind of, like, just take the damn sunglasses off from time to time. All right. It's like, we can see your face. We know what you look like. I think that's just little things like that. But we'll see. We'll see. I want to see how that develops, and it might end up being great. Maybe he's made all the right choices. Usually coaches across the country don't make all the right choices on their staff. There's usually one or two or three that you go, probably not the best fit for that personnel or for that scheme and so forth. And we'll see. We'll see how it all unfolds. So.
I don't think there's any coach that 100% gets the staff right on the first shuffle. So I mean, one or two of these guys in the next 3 years or so is probably not going to be here. I mean, that's every coaching staff. So, and that's not just, guys getting better opportunities. So, we'll see how that shakes out, but I think I feel a lot better about the makeup of this staff, not talking about Franklin, I'm talking about the rest of the staff, than I did about any other Brent Pry staff. So I think whether we're talking, I think the difference is going to be what is the difference between the two.
Jason says, Delta? Yeah, no, you're right. Jason says Bud will be in his ear. I don't think so. I don't think Bud's going to take on that role. I don't think Bud's going to be. What do you think? You think Bud Foster's going to be? He may sometimes be asked his opinion about some, but I got the impression at the Blacksburg Sports Club, he's not going to be there on game day doing things of that nature.
No, I mean, it sounds like he's got a more like mentor type role than it is something where it's like actively barking at somebody. Which, I mean, I think the preparation, if we're going back to last season and things that were wrong with Pry's regime, I think preparation and accountability for games were a big problem. And
yeah, absolutely.
Getting someone like Franklin in there that is very attuned to accountability, I think, to attention to detail. And I think having guys in the building, we've got a much larger off the field coaching responsibility in the analyst position than we probably ever had in Blacksburg. So you got a lot more eyes on things, giving you some of that feedback. So you just got to be able to process that, take that information and make it an actionable item for your team to get better.
Yeah, 100%. And Wayne's right too. It's funny. I was going to ask about discipline was a major problem. Dwight's talked about it a lot, whether it's legal procedure, whether it's guys, not being on time for practice that was allowed to happen, and then not much punishment. I mean, and that kind of thing won't happen under Franklin in any way, shape, or form. You might have procedure penalties and so forth, but you're not going to have guys just walking in when they want and showing up, right? That happened. That happened.
I mean, we saw. I mean, it's always a big deal about 15 minutes early, front row of the classroom. I mean, you got to know that that's getting applied on the field.
Yes.
So.
That's right. Well, if they look better in that regard and don't hurt themselves, and the O-line comes together, I mean, that's where you see the elevated win totals. It's kind of like a snow prediction, depending on which network you're watching, how that front may go, right? If it goes inside the mountain, you're going to get a little bit more. Watch out. Well, It's the same thing with the win prediction. I went through the schedule. I had them at 7-5, maybe 8-4 now as I think about it, but I'm not going to renege. I'm going to leave them at 7-5. But I wouldn't be surprised to see them win 8 or 9 games. I mean, I could see that. I don't think that's hedging. That's just saying I can, because I don't know what Clemson's going to be. I just feel like Clemson is. I have more questions about Clemson than I do Tech, and that should never be the case if you look at recent, the last 10 years. But that's the way I feel about it after Dabo's very strange responses down at Media Day.
The potential delta in win total is actually greater for Clemson than it is for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, correct.
Because I think we know about what Virginia Tech's ceiling can be, and we know about what Virginia Tech's floor can be. I don't know either of those for Clemson. No. I think Clemson, I mean, you could see them go out there and win 11 games maybe. There's potential there. I think that there's enough talent there. But I think the way they're making up their roster now and just some of the holes in different places, I mean, they could lose as many as 5 or 6 games. I mean, it's crazy.
And I could see Tech playing better than we think, right? And then all of a sudden go there. And one thing about Clemson, if you get ahead of them in their stadium, when you get ahead of them at Frank Howard Stadium, that crowd goes away. Yeah. They are not into the game at all. You get a lead that you can hang in there. And it's actually something Shane Beamer said when they beat him down there a couple of years ago, right? Crowd wasn't much of a factor once you're
break their will early and then make the crowd a non-factor. And then at that point, it just becomes like another home game.
Agreed. All right, so you have another week off. Is that correct? Another week
off. Then we're going to get back into it, and then we're starting to kind of set the table for our season preview panel episodes. So look for that throughout the month of August. So that's going to be a good time.
Chris Lester says hello to you, by the way.
What's up, Chris?
Yeah, Chris is awesome. Doing? Chris is awesome. Chris,
love that guy.
We see Chris on Big Dog Pop. And he looks like a dignitary. Like he walks in, looks like a Secretary of State. He's got such a great, the gray, the way his powder, the salt and pepper, man. He looks like
it is distinguished. Wow. It is lovely.
How does he get to look like that? If I look like that, I would look like a 79-year-old man.
Hey, man.
But anyway,
built different. Yeah,
exactly. All right, brother. Well, have a great rest of the week. Enjoy your week off. Can't wait till the guys get back so we can watch you guys again. So.
Awesome, Rick. Yeah, you have a good one, too. Appreciate it as always.
All right, man. Stay safe. Take care.
You too.
All right, Brian Siegler from the Boundary Corner. They'll resume next week when the guys get back. Let me go get Creed. Everybody's asking about Creed. Yeah, I thought so. I thought you knew those guys, Chris. Yeah. Creed's like hovering out here. Hang on. Let me grab him. Mike Burnham's going to join us here at 8 o'clock. So next year when we do the bash, if I'm still here, we'll make sure we have to figure out a way to get Chris Lester at the bash. We'll have to plan it and get with some folks' weekend schedule so we can do it. Because everybody was talking about Chris Lester at the bash. Everybody wanted Chris. Yeah, I know. Some folks live a little further away. Some folks were busy. That's why it was so cool. So many people came by just to say hi if they were around the building. I made a lot of little kids that, listen to the show. It was great. It was great. Parents were coming by. And they just said, hey, we can't stay. Just wanted to say hello, how much we like the show. And that was really cool. That was really, really cool. So thanks to all those folks as well. Yeah, we're going to, if things continue to progress here on the channel, we got a lot of cool stuff coming up. We have to make sure that Chris is there. 1 year anniversary. Yeah, it's hard to believe. Coming up, yeah, in August. Wow. Who knew? Thought it would last maybe a couple weeks. And that'd be like, My time is done here. But no, we're plugging along here. Got another really great assessment from YouTube. So yeah, it's been good stuff. Good stuff. Over 4 figures in subscribers, and the views continue to explode. And we're doing our thing. All right, good. Good. That's good to know, Chris. Yeah, we'll figure all that out. We'll figure that out. Wayne, I'm over the moon for the box office bomb Mandalorian and Grogu on what do they call it? DOD, Digital On Demand. Things will ramp up this fall. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Fall's going to be fun. So much uncertainty, so many intriguing things about this year one for James Franklin throughout college football, even outside of the ACC. I'm curious to see what Indiana has coming off an unbelievable run the last 2 years and winning a natty at that program. How does Michigan, they fell into Kyle Whittingham, who's a great coach after all the turmoil there. Does Ohio State live up to expectations in that league? Does the SEC have success in these programs that all, the Old Misses of the world without Lane Kiffin, LSU with Lane Kiffin, Florida, do they start to show that they can be something else? Is anybody going to be able to catch Georgia? Is Alabama going to step forward? Heck, they paid their coach like they figure they're going to. And then there's the ACC. Is Miami now entrenched as a program under Mario Cristobal? Was last year just a one-off? Does the Mensa kid come in and be that guy? He told his story at the ACC media kickoff, and there were a lot of people that were upset at him, and I get it. It was a 12th hour decision not to go back to Duke after he had told Manny Diaz he was going to be back. Well, Miami came calling, and he was very honest about the amount of money. We went through this rant. Well, it wasn't really a rant. We went around it yesterday about everybody wants to blame the kids. Stop. So he's a very good player for that offense. Miami has to replace some line stalwarts defensively and across the offensive line. Yet you're still looking Phil Steele's units for the year. There they are. What's up, Frankie? You Kane guy, you. Are they going to win that one more game to get back to a natty? We'll see. We'll see. People like Louisville, I never know. I think Jeff Brom is a really good coach. They do a lot of things in the portal. I don't know about Virginia. We know they have a great line. Clemson, Florida State. It's a good year for Tech to try to transition into the top third of the league, to be honest. It feels like it. Morris yelling at Chris. Priorities. Elmo can make it there. No excuses. Everybody better be there next time. Or we will have Elmo break out and coaching cussing streak. Oh, he was great. Holding court in the food room. Everybody kind of disappeared. It was just me and the rest of the bowlers. We looked around, and then we look in, and we saw Coach Elmo just in there holding court with the rest of the crew. We're like, oh, okay. And then I was able to go out and completely exhibit my superior bowling prowess. That just, again, every time I rolled another strike after 3 in a row that went up to 5 in a row, we just kept hearing this.
Oh, my. Oh, no. Oh, no. That was out of nowhere.
And I've been accused since by several people being a sand bagger that I was just saying, hey, I wasn't good knowing I could bowl. No, it was just lucky. The 186 was something I could never replicate. I could go every day for the next month and I wouldn't bowl other 186. Magnets, all done with magnets. It's all ball bearings nowadays. I did not have the guardrails up, Frankie. I did not. We witness all of you there. There weren't any of the little bumpers. Frankie wears Miami. I would wear underoos. I used to love underoos. Underoos was a great thing, man. You could get your sports team. You could get your superhero ones. We'll be knocking underoos. Underoos should still be a thing. But no guardrails up, no. Did not have them up. Each and every day we're presented by Pulaski County Sports Entertainment, thanks to Jonathan Sweet and Tim Miller. And we're going to get up there more frequently as the progression continues on this construction of the Sportsplex. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. The attorney Ryan Pryor down in Radford, 701 West Main Street, Trust and Estate Planning, the BDST Fan Question of the Week. We're going to go with Wayne's this week, and then Brandon had a great one that I've already forgotten. But it's about college football. We're going to implement next week. This week's question, which of the 4 remaining NFL franchises that have never gone to a Super Bowl will break through first? The Browns, the Lions, 2 teams who played on a lot of old NFL championship games well before the merger. Or will it be Houston or Jacksonville? Good question. Sundown Electric, excellent reputation, long list of satisfied clients, superior craftsmanship, 5-star reviews. Reach out to the Smith brothers, continuing what their father had built. Bob Christ and the Ready Set Fund, ReadySetFund.com, BobChrist11@gmail. If you have an organization or a group that needs to raise some money, it's pretty simple. It takes like 5 days. So you should reach out to Bob or read more up on the website. Frankie, you have to be at the next one. Absolutely. Morris says, we were all sitting around the edge of our seats like school kids listening to Elmo tell story after story. Yeah. Awesome. And thanks again, Terry and Amanda and the Super Bowl. Amazing host. The food was terrific, by the way. All the chicken was gone. They had these wonderful weenies, these I guess they were cocktail weenies, but they were delicious. Sheesh. They had chicken salad sandwiches. They had a veggie tray, which, you knew I was all about the veggie tray. It was awesome. Fun night. National Bank member FDIC, my exclusive banking partner. They should be yours. 35 years I've been with them. The show's exclusive banking partner. James Lawson and Lawson's Mobile Home Supply since 1997, 540-381-8011. Louise Baker showed up, by the way, at the bash. Family Fencing, sponsor of our studios, 540-200-8294. Reach out to them, get a free quote. They've been very busy folks. Mark Hundley, McClellan Chiropractic. 155 Walters Drive. He's terrific. Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel, 4377 Lee Highway. Reach out to him. Of course, he's the man responsible for our T-shirts. If you ever want one, hit me up. $20. And Professional Door, again, 674-0008. I hope you're taking advantage. You're down to less than 2 weeks to call them in the month of July and schedule it. You just have to mention you heard us talking about it. $40 off your preventative maintenance visit. And that's a terrific, and I do mean terrific, discount. 674-0008. Call them. Who is going to the VMI game? Oof. It likely will sell out, or they'll announce a sellout. I'm guessing it will, since it's Franklin's first game. It's at night. It won't be a very competitive game, but nonetheless, I believe fans will flock there because it is game one for him. What's up, Rodney? Good to see you. Good to see you. Game prediction. VMI has a new coaching staff. Heck, their coach is on tech staff from last year. I don't know. I mean, you hope that's a game that if it does get out of hand, that you see Franklin kind of roll it back a little bit, because they are military school. It might be rocking. It'll be rocking from a student standpoint. I think most fans understand what that game is. Now, if it would have been the JMU game, I agree completely that it would have been rocking. That it would have been a big deal, a bigger deal. It should be the JMU Dukes opening up the James Franklin era. The storylines were so ready to be there. The first team from the Commonwealth to play in the college football playoff. 2 first-year head coaches coming from power schools that kicked them out. Billy Napier coming from Florida to James Madison. James Franklin coming from Penn State to Virginia Tech. There were so many wonderful things, right? And, of course, Virginia Tech chose not to play that game, and now we get VMI. So, we'll see. We'll see. Chris says that Tech would beat JMU by 40. Really? I have, but I got to be honest, I have not checked out JMU's personnel. I have not. So I can't really speak to that. Let's see here. 282. Let's see where they are in here. See what Phil says. But the point is, it won't be much of a storyline at all with Phil has them winning the Sun Belt East, has them being the top team in the East, in the Sun Belt. 4, 5, 5 first team all Sun Belt Conference players. I don't know. Going to be an adjustment with the coaching. You know, that's a big thing too. A lot of those players went to UCLA. So they have Liberty, Wagner, then they go to San Diego State. That was the game they had to put on there to replace Tech at Old Dominion. Yeah, I understand that thought process. I mean, you know, Tech gains nothing because they could lose. And I guess that was the thought process in canceling the game. But I think it also creates a mindset that a fan base doesn't necessarily want. They don't want to sit there and think about avoiding playing a game. I mean, VMI is going to be what it's supposed to be for Tech. and I don't think you get anything out of that. No, they had a choice, Upstart. They had a choice of which game that they could have let go there. They had a choice, and they made their choice. But I don't know what you gain from what VMI is likely going to be. Just like when I looked at the Pitt game, coming to Blacksburg after 4 straight at home, I don't think that's a good recipe for them to get a road conference win. I really don't. And I think that puts me over the top, that I think one of the reasons why I think Tech's going to win. Now, a lot has to play out, and health always plays such a big factor in trying to determine how teams are going to do, right? I mean, you just never know what the health bug's going to look like. I mean, God forbid Grunkenmeyer goes down or you lose one of the running backs. I mean, it's just that's the way it is all the way across the country. And it changes teams' fortunes. I mean, it just does. There's a lot of things you can make up with depth, and there's a lot of things you can absorb in certain positions, but there are certain positions that it happens every year in every league. There's crucial injuries. It's part of the game, unfortunately. But there's going to be a lot of sidelines, a lot of highlights, a lot of side sites and so forth. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. A lot of scrutiny. I think the ACC offers a lot of intrigue by itself. You can argue about where they are from a standpoint of power in relation to the other 2 leagues and the Big 12, but there are a lot of cool storylines. I mean, I want to see if Miami is entrenched. We obviously know the storylines involving Tech. Is UVA? Are they starting to get entrenched, or was that a one-off? Clemson, Florida State. There's some things in there that's very interesting, and you don't necessarily have a lot of the answers, So we'll see. Wayne says Tech will get a lot of press, positive or negative guarantee. Yeah, they'll get overly praised because the media and ESPN likes Franklin, the national media. He won't do a whole lot for the local media, but he'll make sure it's out there. And yeah, they'll get, if things go sideways a little bit, he'll get some negative press. He won't get as much negative press from a national perspective as he will positive, because everything he's released has been through positive press. Sorry, I'm responding here to one of our texters here. So anyway, but yes, I think that game will sell out. I do. And I guess if you get up on them and you're beating the crap out of them, that gives you more of a time to go out and do the post-game tailgating maybe a little early. Get back out in the parking lot a little early. Yeah. He's in nap mode, Jason. He came in. Yeah. He was a little disheveled from the rain last night. I watched the quarterback show on Netflix. Jaden Daniels ordered Panera during recovery. Well, he probably felt like, look, I've beaten my injury, right? I've beaten my injury. So now let's see how I can handle after am I really back? How do I handle my teeth being busted out? Maybe that's where he is. 7-5, Timothy. He said, where did you have Tech doing? I went through the schedule last week. It could be better than that. I'm kind of leaning it might be better than that, but I'll stick with 7-5. I could hedge a little bit and go with 8-4. I was telling a couple people that yesterday. But yeah, I think it'll be a good season for them. I do. I think they'll have a good year. I think if nothing else, the quarterback situation it gives them a chance. Most Saturdays, it gives them a chance if he can continue to follow his trajectory. And again, nothing is guaranteed, but he has to follow his trajectory and his progress. Yeah. Mike Burnham joins us here momentarily. Yeah, I think so. Thank you. Sorry, I'm reading some of the text messages. I don't try to ignore those during the show. I just get distracted. So that's cool. Need to figure out a way for pregame stream by stadium. Well, I won't have that kind of time anyway. For me, because usually on Saturdays I have some kind of broadcast at Radford. So I usually don't have that kind of time to do that. I would love to do that in the morning. Dwight and I are going to do our show, and I'm not sure. I think it'll probably bounce around different times. But we're going to get that. We'll get that honed and straightened out. I'm not sure yet. Yeah. Smooth. I don't know. I'll ask Mike Burnham those questions. Jason? I think the video board is done. Feels like the video board is done, right? They were getting a new one. The LED lights. I would assume they'll be okay on time. I don't know if they're done now or not. I think, to be honest, that's overdone. The LED lights, if you're just doing that for the effect of being able to blink them on and off during a touchdown. I love the aesthetic at night at Lane Stadium. Lighting can change the whole vibe of a stadium. I thought it always looked great when you're sitting there in a night game. Yeah. Yeah, nobody likes the seat backs. A lot of tall people do not like the seat backs. That's true. Yeah. But I think most people still are going to complain about the Wi-Fi in the stadium, and they are praising the lights. Other stadiums are doing it, and I understand they want to try to do that. And you see the touchdown celebrations everywhere. I don't know if it's really that big of a deal, but we'll see. I'll be curious. I'm kind of glad the first game is a night game because I want to see how it looks, how it changes the overall appearance of a night game at Lane. I want to see how all that transpires once we get in there and see it. So, but yeah, we'll find out. There's that gentleman. We always find out good stuff. Mike Burnham, brought to you by Louise Baker. Louise Baker team Long and Foster. What's up, Mike? Good to see you, man. Good morning.
Good morning, Rick. How are you doing this week?
We're doing all right, man. Off to a good start this week, and had a great time on Saturday. People still talking about the Bash on Saturday, and I know you
tell me
wanted
about that. Tell me about the Bash. I hated to miss that.
Yeah, we had about, I would say, upwards of about 50 folks show up, and everybody had a good time. Food was great. They were great hosts.
Yeah.
At the Super Bowl, and Coach Elmo, of course, was holding court, telling stories. We had the bowling group, and then we had the Coach Elmo group, so it worked out great.
I'm shocked.
Louise was there; she showed up.
Hated to miss that. That was fun. I thought about it, and I remembered that I committed to a dinner like a week before, and I thought, oh man, I totally forgot. When you come back from vacation, you're like still in that vacation mode, and you forget about what you got on your calendar. So, yeah, apologize for that. I have to make the next one.
It's all right. Well, it was cool. I wanted to get you because you're like a multi-athlete. I know you play tennis and softball and all these other things. I wanted to get you out there on the bowling alley and show me how it's done. So I knew you would have been good at that too. So,
this small world story here, Rick. So I ended up doing that farewell brunch at the Virginia Tech reunion every summer. And so I've done that for years since they've started that reunion and whatnot. And so I was there this year, and 2 years ago, I think, same thing. I had a lady come up to me and she said, do you remember me? And it was like 1972, 73. And I'm thinking, give me a hint. And she said, you taught me bowling at Squires way back in the day. So I was a GA. Wow. Yeah. And like PE classes, you had to teach theory and fundamentals of this, that, and the other. And that was one of the classes I took when I was getting my master's was bowling, and she remembered that and came up. I said, did you get an A? And she said, yeah.
Thanks to you and your bowling. Were you in a league? I guess you were in a league, weren't you?
Nah. I was just trying to help them teach. I never perfected the art of spinning the ball and all that kind of stuff. I was just kind of like straight on, man. Fast and furious.
That's me. That's me. But I marvel at them. I marvel at those guys that can do that and the women that can do that. I can't do that either. It's crazy.
Oh, especially when they spin the ball and you got like a 10 pin or whatever it is on the far right. And that spin is always going from right to left. How do they do that? It's like, oh man.
I don't know. It's amazing. I love it though. But no, it was a good event. It was a really, really good event. So yeah, it was good.
What'd you bowl? Tell us what you bowled.
Well, everybody's saying I was sandbagging because I ended up bowling. My best game was a 186.
Dang.
Yeah, and I was like, I got a lot of smack talk to me by Brandon, who was bowling with me going into it, and he got quiet pretty quickly. He got quiet.
And you couldn't get Elmo to bowl a couple?
No, he was talking about his shoulder. He got in and immediately just started. It was just like, hey. He had me a couple of bottles of wine for getting married, a nice card, and then next thing I know, he's in the room, and everybody's starting to filter in the room, and you can just kind of hear him, in the background.
That's Elmo holding court. You should have pulled that thing out there that the kids use. It wouldn't hurt his shoulder, so they could roll it down.
Yeah,
that little ramp.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, the little ramp, and then but it was great. It was great, and he was awesome.
That's good.
Yeah. We talk about, Mike, all the good things we expect to happen or what we hope happens with Tech's football season. Let me ask you, if you had like 2 or 3 things that you looked at that were kind of, I don't want to say red flags, but you want to see develop before you start feeling better. What's some of that coming out of camp? As now we're getting very close to the start of August and the start of fall camp.
I just want to see if they have enough depth. I think that's something that concerns Coach Franklin a little bit, especially on the defensive side when there's, they're a little bit shorthanded, a couple spots. Some guys were injured in spring, so hopefully they'll be healthy and ready to go this fall and be able to stay healthy, because that's an area that guys have a tendency to get banged up. That's violent back there when you're trying to tackle tight ends or running backs after they break through that line of scrimmage. And so that's one thing that concerns me a little bit. And then maybe the development of the offensive line and getting a little more depth on the defensive line. I think they got a core of guys that are pretty daggone good. But, it takes more than 4 guys, 6 guys, 8 guys on the offensive line for sure. And the defensive line, you got to have some pretty good edge rushers and guys that Coach Franklin calls erasers, guys that can make plays when you need a big play. Somebody like a Corey Moore against Clemson and Streeter, the quarterback, when he had a strip sack for a touchdown and, those kind of plays like that. You need some more erasers on defense. And I think that's stuff that you got to look out for. I think they're solid at quarterback and certainly at tight end. They got a wealth of those guys. And I think the running backs are going to be good,
Yep.
So I think those are the things that worry you a little bit.
Well, I like the way the guys looked at the ACC media kickoff. Those guys up there, they did a nice job handling themselves, and I thought you could just tell that, it's been a short amount of time, but they looked a little bigger. They just looked a little more like they'd been really working than they maybe had the previous couple of years when they show up for things like that.
Yeah, they are. They're great kids and did a nice job. They're all dressed to the T's, looking good, and that was kind of funny. Quick little story about Marcellus. He told that story about the ramen noodles, and everybody laughed and got a kick out of it. He says, "Yeah, I make those good, And somebody kidded him. He said, "Why didn't you is that the best you could come up with?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah." He said, "Why didn't you tell him you make a great steak?" He said, "Because I wouldn't be telling the truth."
Yeah.
How about that? So he said,
Imagine that. Imagine that.
Yeah. So he said, "That's what I do. My ramen noodles are great, and that's what I came up with." And everybody laughed about it. I mean, it was kind of funny, but you get around those guys, and they're so good and they're so refreshing, and I think they're excited and ready to go and trying to get this program back on the right track for sure.
Nothing wrong with ramen noodles. I'm sure he has a little thing he probably adds to it too as he's going along too.
Gotta have a little spice,
yeah, a little spice action going there. Well, we'll see. I know we talk about it all. Now it's just about getting out there and developing and getting it done and getting ready for VMI and then what comes after. But I want to ask you about Clemson, Mike. I was very confounded at Dabo's presser. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why he kept harkening back to the old days. He made some almost derogatory comments about his own quarterback. It just felt out of place. And is this a program that we're finally going to start to see descend more consistently, do you think? They have so many resources, you never would think that could happen. But all of a sudden, I think that's a fairly winnable game for Tech. If they come along and progress like you think they are, I don't know what that matchup may look like by the time that game gets here.
You never know. I mean, Dabo has a way of kind of saying stuff every year that gets people's attention, right? And he blames it all on himself about the fact they lost 6 games and we stunk and we weren't very good. It's my fault. Well, he didn't play one play out there, The players have to take some responsibility, and whether they were prepared enough or not, I mean, that's another question. But any good head coach will take responsibility, like most of them do. But he doesn't mind challenging the higher ups in the system. Hey, if you don't want me, get rid of me. I'll go somewhere else. I'm not going to lay on a beach. I'm going to go somewhere else to coach. So, I think it's a big year for him, and he's been kind of against the portal for the longest time, but he did get some guys out of there this year. And, I think this rule, this 5-for-5 rule now will probably help a guy like him, because if it's true that he wants to develop players, and it's the same way with Coach Franklin, I think a lot of them are like that, that's going to cut out a lot of the movement, right? If you can only move one time for the portal, then these guys that develop these players, recruit well in high school and develop them, that's going to become bigger and bigger, I think, as time moves on. If that rule stays, then they can only transfer once. So a guy like Dabo may end up getting the last laugh because he's trying to do it that way now and not use the portal as much, even though he did a little bit this year. So it's going to be interesting. I think it'll be a big year for him and Clemson, and we'll see. The crazy thing, I was looking a little bit yesterday, Rick, the schedule is so imbalanced. I know. When you look at some of these teams, and I think I saw the other day, they went through the top 10 teams that had the easiest path, and like 4 of them were in the ACC. NC State was in there. UVA was like number 4 on the list because they don't think they play Miami or Clemson.
No.
Yeah, and you look at I think Pitt was in there as one of them. I mean, it's like it's so out of whack when you got so many teams and you can't play, and it's to me that's the frustrating part. It's like how do you really know who's the best team until you get to the last game, maybe when you're
Yeah,
sitting there playing when everybody doesn't play everybody.
that's right.
It's like yeah, I mean, I almost wish they'd go to 10 conference games. And that would cut out a lot of this other stuff too about, trying to line up a power four and this, that, and the other. But because, you're playing 5 at home and 4 away one time or by vice versa. So, and this year, the Hokies got that tough away schedule. So, yeah, but that's why they make the big bucks, right?
I guess. I don't know, Mike. As I've gotten older, I think I see the people who make the big bucks. I'm not sure whether they deserve it. Right? They don't really make a lot of impactful decisions. We're seeing that throughout college athletics, anyway, aren't we? Yeah.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it is kind of crazy.
I like that idea, though. Why not play 10 conference games if the way it's set up right now, and then you just have 2 games to navigate through, and less opportunity for a Tech to schedule a VMI or for one of these other schools to schedule a whomever, right? I like that. 10, why not 10 conference games? Sure.
I mean, you're sitting there playing 8, you're not playing half the league, and 9, you're playing a little bit over half of the terms of the ACC. Why not play 10? You get a little more competition, and you kind of find out a little bit more about maybe who is the best team. But I don't know how they come up. I don't know how they come up with these schedules, and who gets the 5, who gets the 4, and the home games and all that sort of stuff. And why doesn't some team play Miami and Clemson and Florida State and Louisville and SMU? I mean, it's like it's so out of whack. It kind of gives one team an advantage over the other, just in terms of the way the schedule lays out.
Mike Burnham joining us on the program. Thanks to Louise Baker Team Long and Foster, and thanks to her zucchini bread that she brought to the bash. It's very good.
Oh man, I missed that too.
Yeah, you missed that on the zucchini bread. It's delicious. It's delicious.
Oh wow,
I like it. I like it. Wayne says in chat we should bring a split divisions once again. Hey, why not at this point? I don't like the whole big 17. I'm with you. It just feels like it's just way too big. Way too big.
Well, it's going to be fun because if the playoff expands, then these championship games may go away. So, that might be a better way to do it, is to have divisions back again and try to find out, maybe you get a little more clarity about who may be the best team, or maybe just leave that schedule open a little bit so that you can find out, and maybe do a little late scheduling, kind of like they do in basketball. Maybe play a team, but that would be a little more difficult, obviously. But yeah, there's ways that you think that they could make it more fair, I guess, to certain teams, or make the path more equal, I guess.
Well, it's not been one of Jim Phillips' crew's strong suits, has been scheduling. I mean, when they had that ridiculous schedule, first permanent schedule, when it left Miami off of Tech's schedule, and we were all just sitting around going, what sense does that make to anyone? And there were other schools that were complaining about here's your 3 annual guarantees, and then Tech and Miami would only play every 3 years or something. None of that ever made sense. They never have been able to figure out the scheduling part of it. So,
well, how about the tiebreaker system? Do you understand that? The tiebreaker to see who gets in the championship game?
No, I still don't understand it. We had folks talk about it on the show. None of them. When they read it, it made even less sense. I still don't know what the tiebreaker is, Mike. I still don't.
They went through 10,000 simulations or something like that and came up. And, like, it's over my head. Yeah, just tell me who's playing. Hopefully it won't be controversial like last year. And Manny Diaz had some interesting comments, didn't he, about, he thought it was kind of negative on his team and Duke that they won the conference and didn't get in the playoff, and that should be mandatory and automatic. And, he wasn't real happy about all that whole situation. And then, of course, losing the 2 best players he has to Miami, at the last minute, the quarterback Mensah at the last minute. I mean, what a hot mess it is out there, I'll tell you.
Well, and really, it's hard to disagree with him about the championship. You can say that people can say they lost 5 games, but you beat a team that ended up winning 11 games, and you won that game, and yet, you don't get to go out of your own league. Somebody who didn't even play in that game goes ahead of you. It was weird. It was very weird. It was.
Yeah, it was. But good for Miami. They got in and did their job and got to the championship game. And so they're getting a lot of love this year. with all the money they have, they can seem like whoever they want. And that'll be another one interesting with the 5 for 5. What happens to Miami with the way they've been buying quarterbacks every year and the amount of payroll that they're spending? Is that going to cut that back a little bit?
You think the 5 for 5 is going to survive all these lawsuits? You think it's going to be okay long term?
That's a good question. It seems like a lawyer can make anything happen, right? Especially if you're in a certain district or whatever. And I know some of those guys jumped on board including some basketball players. So, yeah, I mean, who knows with the legal system? It's just such a sorry situation. It's too bad. It's too good of a product to screw up, and it looks like they're doing their best to try to murk it up.
It's almost like they don't realize that they hold in the palm of their hand the second most watched sport in this country easily over anything else after the NFL. It surpasses all the other pro leagues tremendously, and yet they just don't seem to understand. Like you just said, they don't really value their product, do they? Like we do as fans. I think that's a big part. I think you hit on something there. I think that's a big problem. It is.
Yeah. And how about the viewership of the World Cup? My goodness, you talk about a global event every 4 years and how fortunate the United States was to host that thing, and the passion of those fans. I mean, that was just, even if you're not a soccer fan, you got to love the enthusiasm and the passion of the fan bases of those teams, and how those crowds got into it so much, and the row your boat stuff. And that was fun to watch, whether you like soccer or not. And it took forever to score one goal the other day on Sunday, right?
Yep.
But the halftime show was pretty good, and that was just kind of an incredible event in terms of viewership. And can you imagine what that did to the local economy? All these cities that hosted.
Where they were played. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh, you can't imagine the money that was spent and what they made off of that. Seemed like that's something they should do more often every 4 years, right?
Well, the good news for American football fans is this looks like the fact that they brought in grass to all these artificial turf stadiums. The players are finally going to take a stand, it looks like, because they want to play on grass, and rightfully so. I think they're going to have to concede that 18th game to get it, but you watch. I think this is something that's going to continue to grow, because I've been beating that drum for a long time. The league needed to go to grass again.
So. When I went down and saw Bruce Arians here a month or so ago, he talked about that too, that, the players want to play on grass, and, he didn't understand it. The soccer people demanded it, and that's the way it ought to be. And these players that, the owners are making hand over fist, figure out a way to get grass,
Correct.
Make it work. There's enough money out there that you're making. Then when these franchises like the Seattle Seahawks sold for almost $10 billion. I mean, you can't afford grass. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't want to hear any of the owners who are all billionaires trying to worry about tell me about how they can't afford to take care of a grass field. Just stop.
Even if you got to re-turf it on an away game weekend, you get 3 turf fields over the course of a year. Come on, they got money enough to spend for that.
That's right. That's what Denver does with the Waltons. I mean, they do it every year. They put in the brand new grass field halfway through the season because the other one starts to wear out. I don't hear them complaining about the cost. I mean, it's such hypocrisy. It really is. Really.
That's what the Steelers have done too. I mean, a couple times we've been up there, and you kind of see where they rolled out the turf, and it's like, man, is that safe? Because some of them were different colors, and you could kind of see where that strip of 6 feet long was different. But there ought to be a way that they can handle that and have heated fields or something just to keep that stuff growing.
Oh, 100%.
And the technology's out there.
Well, they just need to tap into Casey Underwood and everybody over at Tech, right? They do it better than anybody. Let's just get those guys to be the consultants for the NFL on how to do this and how to take care of it, and everything will be okay.
I mean, they are. They're great at that, and
It's unreal.
I mean, what they do is like one of 2 or 3 different fields in the country that do it. The way they mix in the Bermuda with this other stuff, and at the end of the year, the field still looks good. Yeah, they do a hell of a job. That's for sure.
Oh, and they hold clinics. They're so good at it, right? People want to see what they do, and why not hire somebody like that? Somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I was at that function at Hotel Roanoke last week, and somebody said, "Yeah, the VMI game playing at night. It's probably still going to be warm. And I'm thinking, yeah, you think about football, though. You start out when it's warm, but when you finish, brother, in Blacksburg,
You better believe it.
it's cold.
November 9th, you're going to need a parka. Yeah, if you're sitting in Lane Stadium or whatever. Yeah.
And just think about the time when they get this thing rolling back and getting to the playoff, and you got a playoff game in the middle of the end of December. That would be something to behold, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That might put Casey to the test, keeping that field green.
That's true. Yeah. All right, Casey, let's see what you got. Let's see what you got now. They may have to bring out some special dyeing at that point for the green. Make it green. I'm not sure.
Yeah, dye or heaters or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be very interesting. What did you think about? Did you see where Eli Drinkowitz made the comment about the Big Ten? The reason they're good is because of their non-conference scheduling. It was bizarre to me when you see some of the SEC teams and what they do with their schedule in the non-conference. But some little bantering going back and forth between the two power leagues is always fun in the offseason.
Yeah, always. Yeah, that's going to happen. All the money that they have, and they control everything pretty much. They can do what they want, but going through that schedule is kind of brutal, especially in the SEC. My goodness, that's a tough row every week.
It is. It really is. It really is. Well, what's your week looking like, Mike? What do you got? You got any more? Are you traveling anywhere else? You going to go back to Florida one more time? Are you done? Or
I don't think I probably won't have time to do that, but next, not this coming Sunday, but the next Sunday, I think it's the 1st of August, maybe. I got to start back on the trail with Emporia. I got to go to, and I have to go to Crew, and I got to go to Fredericksburg, a couple local Rotary clubs, and I got a few more in the month of August, and then it'll kind of calm down and settle down till you get into the season mode.
Yeah, that's right. And it'll be here before you know it. You'll be sitting there in the booth with Bill, and you guys will be watching those cadets warm up and getting ready to rock and roll on a Saturday night.
Yeah. Well, it's been a long time since we played those, and I can remember when we played them. God, that game was at Victory Stadium, and that was a big event way back in the early 70s. That was something to behold. Victory Stadium packed to the gills, and you got the Corps cadets and you got the VMI cadets, and they're fighting each other over the mascots and how big the cannon was and all that kind of stuff.
That's cool. That's cool.
That was like a 3-day event down there. They'd have a big ball and all this dancing. Some of the people from Blacksburg remember that and said they went down on the train. I mean, can you imagine that way back in the day? That was something to behold.
That was a good series, wasn't it? I mean, that's before there was such a lopsided difference in talent. I mean, those were some pretty good games over the years.
Yeah, back in the day, and then the Hokies kind of got the best of them when things changed a little bit. So, but it'd be fun to get that back and have them on there. The two military schools used to be the Military Battle of the South, and now I guess that goes to VMI and Citadel.
Yeah,
I think they get that title now more. So. Yeah, but it'll be fun. That place will be rocking and rolling for a night game packed. James Franklin's first game. It's going to be something else, fun to behold.
Hey, you get to see the Citadel next year in Lane Stadium, so you get them both back-to-back years.
That's right. I remember, I meant to think about that. Art. Remember Art? That used to be the assistant AD at Duke.
Yeah.
Art. Art Chase? Is that his name?
Art Chase. Yeah, Art Chase.
Is he still at the Citadel AD?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I forgot. I think he might be. I wondered about that when that game came on the schedule. I said, I wonder if they got Art and worked that thing out somehow. Because they're going to get a good payday for that. But I loved Art. He was great. He was one of the best.
He certainly is.
Still the AD.
Yeah, he joined in this February of last year. So this is year number 2 for him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of the best out there. I love it.
He's a good guy. I dealt with him when we played. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
Art's a good guy. Yeah, really good guy. So that's great. That's great. Yeah. Well, Mike, thanks so much as always. Enjoy your week. And thanks to Louise Baker, maker of wonderful zucchini bread on top of everything else. Wow.
Man, that sounds good. Heat that up in the morning like toast, put a little butter on it, zucchini bread. I bet that was delicious.
Oh, it was great. It's great.
We love Louise. She's the best.
Yeah, she is. She showed up with her tech colors on.
Awesome.
On Saturday. So. All right, my friend, enjoy the week, and we'll resume. We'll find you again next week.
All right, sounds good, Rick. Have a good one.
All right, brother. Take care.
See ya.
Mike Burnip. We'll make sure Mike can be there next year. He was going to be there, by the way, at the Bash. I know a lot of people were asking, and look, I do that all the time. I forget about events every week. Every week. Brandon says, just like with FSU, 13-0. 13-0. Of course, didn't have the quarterback. That was it's the most ridiculous thing ever. And I know Duke, wouldn't have been a good viewing draw. I know what they say, but they won the conference. They won the conference. Now, look, it worked out. Miami went all the way to the championship. And I'm not at all saying they weren't the best team. But that goes back to another developmental error in the ACC with the way their whole playoff, their whole conference championship, that whole thing was, they've tried to fix it. They've added more confusion. Like I said, ACC, they can sit there and they can try to pontificate all they want. They're not very well run. I'm sorry. It's just not a well-run league. And you don't need to look any further than their hideous, let's make sure we keep teams motivated to stay here when they're threatening to leave decision to give all the revenue to the one program instead of it being shared amongst the rest of the members. Somehow, let's make that make sense, because it does not. So Miami plays in the title game. Is there any benefit for anybody? Nope. Just for them. And why would you exchange that money for anything? Why would you? Right? Good stuff today. Thanks to Marva in Miami, Brian Siegler, and Mike Burnham. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow's the Hump Day Wednesday edition of the program. And we'll see how that develops tomorrow. But good stuff today. Everybody in chat, as always, all of our great sponsors that we've talked about a lot today. Don't forget, reach out to Professional Door, 674-0008. Do it today. You don't have to have the service done this month, but you can schedule it. They have preventative maintenance on your garage doors. Those things they're very, very brittle at times, right? They're kind of sensitive. So make sure you get it checked out by the best in the group, in the industry. Professional Door Incorporated, sponsor of our text line. And thanks again, everybody, for the great comments on the bash. It was a lot of fun. It was everybody else. It was the folks at the NRB Super Bowl. It was Morris, Coach Elmo, everybody who showed up, and Coach Mabry. It was awesome. And it was about all the people. The people made it awesome. I was just there. That's all I was. But it was a lot of fun. And we had a great, great time. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of your Tuesday. We'll slide over the hump tomorrow. And maybe we'll start looking a little more closely at what's happening. Phil Steele will be with us next Tuesday, a week from today, as a matter of fact. Talk about the MAG and some of the challenges that the new way of college football rostering has created for him. I think it's an interesting story and how he goes about it now. All right, everybody, take care. Please subscribe, like, and share the channel. If you haven't already, we'll have some highlights from today's show coming up on the channel in about 45 minutes or an hour, and we'll see you tomorrow right here. Take care. Be good.